The only guy. Well, good evening and welcome to Town Talk.
You guys are wise guys. I love it. Thanks.
And
The fire department.
what comes first, the fire station or the field?
Please. Please.
I'll tell you, I don't know how, if you guys, but I think that field might go through, and that's going to be on the ballot in May.
There's no way. There's no way.
Well, hey, I know a guy that used to sit here next to me who said there was no way that they're going to build a new Bomber School. No
Yeah.
way that was going to pass. And look what happened. Overwhelming.
But you're taking $1,800 in July onto the tax bill.
Yeah.
Then you're throwing another $700 onto the tax bill?
Yep.
Come on. Come on. Use your head. Look, I love Timmy. He's a great guy. He does a great job. But this is a little nutty. You want field, track, bleachers, goalposts. Come on. You're building a $110 million school. You're going to put this on the people again? Fundraise. I just don't agree with it right now.
I know what you're saying. Fundraising, you'd never raise 2.7 million within a town.
They could fundraise. They could get a date with you.
2.7 million is
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money
You
to
could
raise.
build a fire station for $2.7 million.
I don't know. We couldn't build a DPW garage for what, 1.5 million?
Well, the one in Douglas, well, actually it was more. It was 3.8. But it's gorgeous. You're going to put a field in? You don't want a fire station? Come
I know.
on.
The firemen are going to be pretty disappointed if this. They're still waiting for a fire station, and we don't seem to be getting anywhere. I understand it's starting to look like it's something going to happen, but here again, somebody tells me, well, they're going to use the location where the current primary school is. Well, if you're going to do that, we're going to see a fire station for about 3 years.
Yeah, you can't. It's 5.
Well, by the time they build a new school,
Your land is being worked on. They don't even have the permits yet, by the way.
right?
So the permits, they got to come before your board.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of which, we have to do something very serious after this. We have to go to your board. They have to get all of the state permits. They
Right.
get the authorization from the SBAB, School Building Authority.
Yep.
Then they have to start the land, which all has to be cut. All has to be redone with all of that 300-foot friggin' pipe has got to, the 3-foot pipe that's got to all be redone. You can't do anything till all of that's done. You can't even think about putting a foundation in. You're talking 3 to 4 years.
Who's cutting the trees?
I don't know.
Did you see that?
No.
On the other side of Lake Street, where that pipe comes out
Yeah.
and goes into the pond,
Yeah.
there was a big dead tree down over in there.
Uh-huh.
Well, someone's cut it up and stacked it.
Oh, good for them.
It was blocking the flow.
Good for them. Thank God somebody can do something.
I'm wondering if that was somebody was part of the project.
I don't think so. I don't think so. So, before we go any further, we'd be terribly remiss if we didn't make a little statement, buddy.
Yep.
He was one of the finest guys I ever met in this town.
James Reuter.
Roger Matthew.
Oh, God. How can I?
Shame on you.
Oh, my
Roger
God.
Roger was the quintessential townie.
Yep.
He has business here. He
Miguel
lived
wasn't
here.
know who we're talking about. Roger, he moved to town a number of years, a lot of years ago. He's originally
50?
from
60?
he was originally from Woonsocket,
Yep. Yep.
and
Marine, former Marine.
yeah, he lived down here in Rockdale near the Grafton line. He just passed away from cancer. He had a house in Texas. He would spend his winters there. Him and his wife would spend the winters there, and that's where he passed away.
Absolute character.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a character. Had his business here. He was on the planning board. He was on the board of selectmen. But the more than that, he always told you the truth.
Oh yeah.
You may not like the answer, but you got the truth.
Yep.
When they were building the high school, he said, guys, you're not listening. There's ledge there. No, there's not. We did borings. $2 million to remove the ledge that he said was there. He just tremendous dancer, outgoing, loved life, loved people. Just will be sorely missed. Wonderful man. I couldn't not say something.
He was a common sense guy.
Oh God, yes.
You know.
I got to sit on the board with some guys that I learned so much from. Him, Joe Montecalvo, just salt of the earth human beings. Just cared about not being reelected, not, being everybody's buddy, just doing the right thing. And that's him. He just did the right thing.
Well, if you're not worried about being reelected, you could make decisions a lot better.
Do you know that's the first page in the Selectmen's Handbook?
What's that?
You can govern by wanting to get reelected or govern by doing the right thing.
Oh, really?
It's literally in the handbook. That's obnoxious.
Well, I make decisions on a planning board. He said, "Oh, you'll never get reelected." I says,
Who cares?
"I won't miss a paycheck."
Yeah.
I don't care. I think you got to make decisions based on what you think by looking at all the evidence, what's best for the town.
That's the whole concept.
Yeah.
That's why you do this, to do what's best for the town. Not what's best for your clique or what's best for your friends.
Right.
It's to gain the next step for the town to grow. It just, look behind me. Yeah. That didn't work. That didn't work.
Just look at, you'd be able to, a selling point for your house will be, if you got kids, here's the school, you won't have to go far.
Look, I don't hate school. I love the kids being in the backyard. I don't have tractor trailers going in and out. I don't
Right.
have, noisy, machine. I got a school. The kids play. You can't get anything better than kids outside having activities, having fun. My problem was, I think it's stupid building it on a swamp. What do I know?
Right.
Again,
Yeah.
common sense.
Another advantage is having that school there, you won't have a marijuana store nearby.
I could care less. I could care less.
There's going to be a meeting coming up, meeting with the selectmen. I think in 2 weeks, the 13th is the next. Is it the 13th the next meeting? The 11th. The 11th. Yeah, because the planning board's the 12th, and the marijuana people are coming in to talk about their location out by Walmart,
Cool.
which is a good spot.
By a Walmart?
I don't know if I
Yeah.
said this before. If I said this before, shame on me, but whatever. I had a conversation with the Leicester police chief, and he had one of the funniest lines of all time. He said, I used to stop people with marijuana. Now I'm parking their cars.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's awesome. I like your attitude. Well, whatever. The law's the law. Let them have fun.
A National Grid there or something? Where
In
No, no, the National Grid's in the back.
Yeah.
In the front.
In the front, right on the street, there's a couple of old houses that are,
All right.
those will be torn down and new building put up.
So as for last week's show, I got a lot of phone calls. I got a lot of phone calls.
Some plowman?
Uh-huh. I got a lot of phone calls of people that said, you're 100% right. These contractors are awful. One woman, she knows who she is, she might be watching tonight, did this, told me that the plow goes down her street at about 50 miles an hour. You got a phone call.
I just went,
There
I
he
think
is.
Benson Road got plowed with this last storm because I still got,
Oh, they put a lot of salt on it because it's all wet up at the top.
Yeah.
By your house.
we have a lot of pine trees around there and the road doesn't melt.
Right.
So please, it's not gonna melt, plow it. Gary does it so easy. Go ahead, caller. Oh. You hang up? Are you still there?
No,
Oh, here you
I'm
go.
there.
Okay, it didn't work.
Hello.
Go ahead,
Yes.
you're on.
Subject DPW, you kind of confused me. I love the backdrop of the Northbridge Fire Department, though. That's great.
Yeah, I know. The guys love to do that to me. They know it's like I'm like the lion with the the thing in the paw.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, first off, maybe a long time resident of this town. My whole life, my parents had a business in DPW thing. When you talk about how did the school seem to steamroll right over the fire department when
I can give you an answer. Do you want the answer?
yes,
Look
love
at
it.
the Building Planning Construction Committee. Who got on it right away? Right from the school department, right from the school
Committee?
committee, right on. Steamrolled it right through.
No, not only that, though, I gotta be fair, they don't know where to put the fire station. That's been up in the air for so long now, because we had a good spot and it got blown out of proportion, and we ended up losing that spot, and now it's gonna be a repair shop and a car wash.
Yep.
So,
Well, yeah, there's been so many spots talked about over the years. You know, right across the street from the White Machine Works, I couldn't get that deal. This has gone back. This has gone back since Coney Madigan days.
Yep.
right,
After they talked about a police station, the next thing was supposed to be a fire station. It
You're
just
correct.
kind of went down
Right.
the road.
right.
And then there was going to be a registry of motor vehicles at the police department. That never came about.
Yep.
You
You're
know what I
right.
mean? It's always been this thing. And,
Well, that was part of moving down there and rehabbing that building for the police department was part of the rent. The rent would have been paid by the state.
and that never happened.
No,
So
no,
I mean,
no.
all that's all said and done, and you know, things had to change. A lot of things have come through this town over the years, and we always seem to, you know, we were known as anti-business, and then, you know, you can't compare yourself to like Grafton and Uxbridge. You're talking about these things with the field. Everyone wants to support LaSalle Field. Nobody has a problem with that, but there's so many other issues in this town that, you know, just kind of get put to the side. Where are we talking about a field for your kids, which everyone supports education, the schools? They can't come up with the money. They've been supported in this town for years. It's a $30 million town. We got a $25 million goes to the schools. So they couldn't put some money aside over the years or maintain that. They said $30,000 a year to maintain those fields.
Or actually, I think we're in a 40 million now on the budget.
Yeah.
We mirror the state budget. Theirs is billions, ours is millions. If the state budget is 45 billion, we're 45 million. You always look at that. I notice that all the time. And
What's your
out of
problem?
I
that,
don't want to go all over the place, but it seems like, you know, the priorities in this town, it's just like they can't maintain anything they have, but they always want to build, 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 build. You know, you have elderly housing in this town. Northbridge Housing Authority, which I've been told is it the town of Northbridge? Is the state of Massachusetts? You have the Crown Mill Apartments, you have Lakeview Apartments, you have the Rockdale House.
no, the Rockdale House is
Named
not
after
on.
a former selectman and police officer in this town, Freddie Benoit.
Yeah,
Another huge character, just like Roger Matthews. God rest his soul. I didn't know that till I heard this on your show that he passed, and my deepest sympathies to his family. But there's people like this in this town that did what they were supposed to do and did the right thing. And it's always seemed to be put aside, like we want to do more and more and more, but we don't maintain the stuff that we have.
Boy, I'd love to tell you you're wrong, but you're 100% right. Half the problem with the field is nobody takes care of it. You don't have maintenance people to take care of the
Nothing's
things
been
in the school.
maintained in this town. Look at the roads.
Oh,
You know, you go, I leave town every morning. If I go up Sutton Street or go towards Grafton or Uxbridge, I get to those towns, the roads are black, they're wet. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, a plow hasn't gone by my house. I live on Sutton Street, a brand new street. Another thing, we can't plow the sidewalks in town. We got a beautiful new road that people used to walk up and down. Now they got to walk out in the street because we can't afford to plow the sidewalks in town.
because it's not within a school district.
Okay,
That-
but I mean,
but
seriously.
no, but you're right. It's
You don't
nonsense.
want to get into the
Why would you buy?
Rockdale. It's been like this whole time in this town. It's always seemed to be like, you know, has to be a separation.
No, why would you buy a plow, a sidewalk plow, and not use it for the whole town? You also have a sidewalk snow blower, and they're not using it because they only have a certain amount of people. So if you have 4 people and 3 bosses, nothing's getting done.
right.
Well,
It's
the
just nothing's
DPW's
getting
been
done.
underfunded for how long? You know, it's $1 million budget according to now. You can't get a town report. You have to go out and pick one up.
Right.
It's $1 million budget, and $800 and something thousand is spoken for salaries, insurance, every other thing. How does that work? You're going to maintain a town this size for $150,000, $200,000 a year? It's ridiculous.
Nope.
since this town with the charter and the town manager, it doesn't work.
There is a thing called Chapter 90 money that, if you noticed, certain, like Lake Street, because of the school and everything, which they'll probably screw that up now. Lake Street got paved last year. That was Chapter 90 money. Certain amount of Chapter 90 money is supposed to be used for street and road repair and some other types of repairs that are within the town's purview. But it's based on Chapter 90 is based on road repair. That's the thing that we get every year. We don't know how much. One of the problems that
Never
you
know
have
how
is if
much,
you
yeah.
have a bad storm and you go over your budget, which is stupid because we never put enough money in the budget for snow plowing and snow removal.
None of the towns do.
Right, so you take that off your cherry sheet. Hey, guess where it comes from?
Chapter 90.
You got it. I did the budget for 6 years here. I wasn't funny. I didn't have fun.
How long did that work? And then don't even get with the roads program. I heard you talk about it before, Rusty. That sign that they put out there after the roads, yeah, they have an outside contract to do it. Guess what? We can't even go back and do the maintenance on the side. You're supposed to back up these roads after you repave them and then maintain them. Never mind salting and sanding them, once a year with oil and all that stuff. But they don't even back up the sides of them so water gets under them in 2 years. Look at Quaker Street going towards
Oof.
Mendon.
Oh, that's awful.
How much did they spend on that to put a patch on it, they said. But you go down that road, and that is absolutely ridiculous.
That was the
His
first.
road's a mess.
That was the first road they did under this project to do all the roads, and that was with that new system which didn't work out
No.
too
Right.
well.
No. Well, you got roads in town. Benson.
Yep.
Swift is becoming a nightmare because of the amount of buses, cut through cars, and trucks that are coming down that road.
Yep.
It's getting chewed up something awful. And it's just going to get worse because you're putting 3 times the amount of kids in there, so you get 3 times the amount of
Absolutely.
parents going down that road because
I
you still
don't
got
want
a
to hold up
2-mile.
the whole show, but the whole backdrop of the fire department, I think this town really needs to get on board with. Let's do this, build the fire department. Not to mention that, take care of the stuff that you guys have. The Freddie Benoit apartment is a total example of that building has no fire sprinklers in it.
That's actually under.
People in Crownville apartments have
No, that's
fire
not- that's
sprinklers.
under
That
Washington
was
Housing.
That was a building that was previously had sprinklers in it. So, but when that was built, it wasn't required. To this day, in this age, if that building was built, that would have to have fire sprinklers in it. You have 40 residents in there.
Right.
Some people are elderly, some people on oxygen. The people smoke in that building all the time. That is a death trap waiting to happen. And then, like you said, just like an accident on the road, this town is going to wait till something tragic happens before they do something. I've talked to both fire chiefs about it, Gary Nesta and the new chief, David White. They're all love it. They love to have it, but they can't enforce that. We have a state fire marshal, Peter Ostrowski, that lives in town.
Yep.
Spoken to him. He's all on board about it, but you cannot force somebody to do that. Somebody has to step up and do the right thing and say, let's invest a little bit about the stuff that we have in town, not about what we want to build new.
Right. But the Rockdale house is under Washington Housing.
Yeah,
They-
and that was a federal thing where they
Right.
took it on. And actually, in their, my mother lived in that apartment. I know the whole history of that building. And the one thing about it, they actually had on their paperwork that building was sprinkled. It had one sprinkler in the boiler room, which was a thing in the 1980s before sprinklers were required in buildings, just to protect the furnace. There are no fire sprinklers in that building. There was an antiquated alarm system at the building until Gary Nesta took the initiative to make them update that to standards for this day.
Well,
And David White is one, he's all on top of it about having the testing quarterly. Every 3 months they go in there and test that system. That's a wood frame building that was sheetrocked. It's absolutely a terror if they have to respond to there.
well, I agree. That was allowed under the time. I mean,
And
one
I
reason.
brought this up to every selectman in town. I can get a call back from everyone I've had personal, except the chairman of that board of selectmen, for whatever reason.
That's because the state.
I've talked to him, and I've talked to Michael Moore. My family's talked to all the state reps and everybody. George Peterson, when it went back that far, everybody's talked about it, but it's never got any traction.
Right, because it's the state has to come in and make them do it. Now,
Whoever has to do it.
because I can tell you, one reason you have a TV studio now in this building is I was told that we had to put this elaborate system in because we had events here. And it was going to cost $12,000 just to install.
Absolutely. I'm a fire sprinkler guy by trade. That's what I do, and I'm not saying that because, and you know, even your Northbridge Fire Station, that building's been condemned. It has a sprinkler system. It has so many deficiencies in it, it wouldn't even operate.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just everyone.
How would you like to have to put the sprinkler system in the town hall? Because there's none in that either.
Right.
No, yeah, you wouldn't. You retrofit it. The cost is unbelievable.
Now,
That's why
You're
we were
talking
lucky.
about protecting your elderly in town, or
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
The
there's
change-
certain buildings if they're unoccupied, it's a whole different story. But when you have one Northbridge Housing Authority has in Whitensville, Crown Mill Apartments, how are they afforded fire protection than somebody else, or Lakeview Apartments? That's a different situation. It's not a building with 40 residents in one area, and they've had fires down there recently in the
Oh, yeah.
past.
Oh, yeah.
In the past few months, there's been 2 fires down there.
Yep.
now that's under a separate budget. The town doesn't supply the money for that. That's done through the state and through the rentals. And the committee,
And they have a maintenance person, too.
yeah,
They actually fix stuff.
yeah.
Right. No, that's great. I don't want to hold up the whole show, guys. Thank you for your
Thank you
time
for
so
calling.
much, and yeah, I hope this town can really get on board and do the right thing. Get a fire department. How are you going to protect these $100 million schools when you don't have the basic infrastructure?
Oh, by the time the ladder truck got there, it'll probably burn to the ground. Got to back it up
No,
4
I-
times.
I'm-
God bless,
look.
guys. Stay safe. Thank you.
You too.
Okay. I've been saying for years, for 20 years now, we need a fire
Oh,
station.
yeah. Longer
I
than that.
mean, but here again, it comes down to where do you locate it? Nobody seems to know where they want to locate it. I've given suggestions, but nobody wants to take them, so. I mean, I think if we locate it in Plumbers, it makes more sense,
Yeah.
because it's central.
Yeah, skate park.
And you can do away with the Rockdale station, which is in disrepair in some ways. They had to reinforce the floor to put the new truck in there.
It's so absurd. It's so absurd. You putting a Band-Aid on a, a bleeding.
And you look at all these buildings that we're looking at were built by the manufacturers, by the shop up by Paul Whiten down here at the Rockdale station. So I mean, look, those days are gone. We have to take on the responsibility
yeah.
ourselves now. We can't rely on some manufacturer to come along and say, "I'll build it for you." Not going to happen.
I agree with you.
You know?
It's a sad state of affairs when you can't get your fire truck out
Yeah,
quickly.
I know. You're
It's
going
just-
to
it's
turn
just-
and turn
it's
again and
just-
turn.
It's absurd. It's just absurd.
And I think it would work in Plumbers. You have lights.
Yeah. Yeah. You have the sensor.
Yeah,
You hit the button on the dashboard. The sensor goes off.
right.
You're free.
Yeah. But, we should have done, 30 years ago now, was it? We built that police station?
Mm-hmm.
Should have done a public safety
Oh,
building.
yeah. That would have been perfect. That would have been a brilliant move.
At the time, I believe that the building in front, which is now the credit union, was vacant at the time.
Yeah.
So it could have took over that whole area and put a public safety building in. But no, well, there again, you had a situation where the police, I don't want the fire department with me.
For
Yeah.
years, they didn't want single dispatch.
Yeah,
We finally woke up to that.
now we got it.
We got it.
So,
Finally got it. Look, it's sometimes you have two factions that don't believe the other one works as hard as the other one.
Right.
And it just, look, it's two different entities.
yeah,
One is, they're both first responders. One has to deal with people that are having problems first, and then the ambulance gets there with the paramedics. The other way is they have the police have to give out tickets and do summonses and do all of that stuff, and the fire department puts out fires and takes care of it. So there's always been a thing. I know because I talk to them all that our two teams work perfectly together.
yeah,
They work together. They help each other. They're not the kind of guys that are having a trouble getting a guy in the, on the gurney in the ambulance. They don't just stand there. They help him.
right.
That's what they do. They work. You need me to hold the bag? I'll hold the bag. You know,
Yep.
you need me to subdue this guy, I'll help you subdue the guy. Because it's the only way it's going to work. You cannot continually have two factions that are both your public safety people.
Right.
So they're working together, and it's become a much better program, especially with the dispatch.
Oh, yeah, it's a good team effort.
It really is. It really is. We're very lucky.
So we could do a public safety building.
Sure. Absolutely.
Here again, do we go down there? Where do we go? And that's a big question, but somebody's got to just make the decision.
Yeah. Step up. Step up.
There's no trouble picking out a place for a high school.
No trouble. Yeah, that worked out real well, speaking of fields.
Yeah,
You can't even get to them.
I know.
It's like being in Spencer.
But,
You got to walk, hike a mile
but
into
you
the,
know
into
what
the
that
woods.
deal was. Henry O'Donnell needed to have fields that's required by the state.
Please, you're making me nauseous.
And if you've been to high school fields, they're way up on top of that hill.
And the softball fields took 3
Actually,
years
I'll
to
be honest,
finish.
I've never been there.
And the softball fields took 3 years to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess there was a baseball diamond where if you were a pitcher, you couldn't see the batter.
Oh yeah. It was on a hill.
Yeah.
It was a crest. It had a crest in it. It was I'm telling you. That's the problem with these schools. Because what happens is you get the lowest bidder. They do a shoddy job. You have no recourse. None. Like the windows at the high school. When they went south, because I told them they would, they couldn't go back to the manufacturer because there was no warranty because they signed off on it. The lien was signed off. The residual money was paid. Done. They don't care about you anymore. They're not coming to fix anything. That's what it is.
Part of that's the architect too, right?
No, it's the management team. Because what happens is that the architect creates the plan.
Right.
If there's a problem with the plan, it's his responsibility. Now it goes to the GC. The GC then gets the PMs, project managers.
Yep.
They, in turn, get the different subs to fill in, whether it's Grzeski Plumbing or, Joseph's Electric or whoever it is to
Right.
come in and do their job. Well, if they don't do their job, now they're held back a retainer. Well, they fight over what they call a checklist. So you go back in, you try to fix the checklist. If they can't, and what they do is they say, well, I can't fix that because that sill's no good. They didn't put the sill in correctly. Now you got fighting back. Oh, I've seen it. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've seen it where they screwed up doors because they poured the concrete the wrong direction. I'm telling you, you have no idea what goes on with these things. I know of a situation in
Well, isn't
in
the clerk of the
Fitchburg.
works supposed to be looking at?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once they get signed off, he's gone. I know a situation in Fitchburg, no lie, where they took a mill and they turned it into apartments. They drew a sewer line down through all the apartments and deaded it into a concrete wall.
That'll back up pretty
That's
quick.
how the architect drew it.
That'll back up pretty quick.
Yeah, like one day.
Yeah.
So they couldn't get an occupancy permit, and they wanted the plumbers to figure out how to fix it. Now, you drew it, you fix it. The simple remedy was they bored a hole in, which cost them more money, and they had to put the pipe out to the street. But what architect deads a sewer line into a concrete wall? This is the stuff that goes on. That's why what went on up there, your air conditioning system doesn't work. I mean, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. A clerk of the works has to be the toughest person on the property.
If it's not done according to plan, you
And he
do it
better
again.
and he better be damn good at reading the plan.
Right. You're not call here. Go ahead, caller. Oops, wait a minute, the speaker didn't go. Okay,
Hey,
go ahead. There we go.
Let's start with that fire station. What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with
What's
it?
wrong with it? Well, let me give it to
Does the
you.
roof leak?
Huh?
Does the roof leak and it's leaking all over the fire trucks?
It's condemned because of the wiring, the heat system.
Signs on there that say condemned?
No, it's been condemned through the state. Oh, I know who this
They
is.
should have,
Yep.
I know
why
who this is.
don't they make them get out of there then?
Well, because they got no place to go. You want to be like Douglas and have the fire truck on somebody's front lawn?
Like Harry says, I don't hear anybody
getting a place to build a new one.
No.
How are you gonna build it? They have no place to put it.
There's places to get. They just got to step up and do it.
Well, why aren't they out there saying, here's a place we can do it here? I hear nothing. They want a new fire station, but they're not saying where to put it.
Well, you got to figure a place to put it. He's got a great idea, Plumber's Corner. You got
Who's gonna do that? Who figures that out?
the Building Planning Construction Committee.
Well, are they doing it?
No,
Yeah,
because
they-
they
well,
decided,
they
they
supposedly-
decided to do a school first.
They are working on it now, and supposedly they're gonna come up with something within the next month.
Good. Good.
Well,
I saw your son over the holidays, by the way.
the roof ain't leaking, the fire trucks are dry, and they're not making them get out of there. There's no big deal, all right?
Well,
Tell me they can stay there.
Do you know how much it costs
So
you?
just time as they come up with a place to build a new one.
Well, that's what we're trying to get. Do you know how much it costs you to heat that building every
I
year?
have another thing. Hey, Miguel.
Yes.
Miguel.
Yes.
Is that you I'm talking to?
This is me, yeah.
You don't talk. What's the matter? I want to hear you. You sit there like a bump on a log.
These guys,
Not talking.
these guys
You're
keep,
from Venezuela, and that's a big thing now going on over there. We should hear about it.
well, there's so many things happening here in Whitensville. That's, we gotta make space for that, I guess.
You know?
Hey,
Why sit there and waste your time unless you're going to get into the conversation here? I want to hear you talk. You sound like a good man.
Oh, thank
He
you.
is a good man. By the way, I saw your son over the holidays.
Yeah, I remember when you left. Yeah. He's doing all right.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, we spent a little time together.
Yeah. Well,
kid.
all right, man. Keep up the good work.
all right,
Thank you.
okay.
Son's a teacher in Florida now.
Oh.
Yeah, when he comes up for the holidays, he always comes over and says hi. Used to play a lot of cards together. Good guy.
Yeah. Well, what do you think was going on in Venezuela?
I really, I'm gonna disappoint him because I really haven't been keeping up that much
No.
with that. No, I know that,
Well, you don't live there, so, you know.
no, I mean,
As long as you don't have to go back, what do you care?
I do care because I have family down there.
Do they? Oh, you still have family down there?
Yeah, my mother sends food. She has a couple of boxes ready to send over.
Oh, no
there.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a problem with getting anything at all over there now, right?
Yeah, you
everything's
can,
very expensive.
Yeah, people.
Inflation is
there's
going
nothing,
crazy.
And they have so much oil, right?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But this is what happens when the government takes over everything.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happened there.
Wow. So there's no capitalism whatsoever.
No, it used to be a democracy, but then
Yikes.
yeah,
But the government's running everything, and
Yeah, that's not a good idea. They can screw up a free lunch.
yeah.
you know. But anyway,
Like that, huh?
back to the town. You have any idea where to put a fire station?
Not really.
It's tough. It's not a lot of spots.
They can't renovate the one they have there. That's not a
No.
option. No,
No.
For one thing, it's not a good spot
no.
because the road is narrow, and it's hard to get the ladder truck out because it's so long. And today, you want stations where they can drive in and drive out. You know, when they just circle right around, so that it's quicker. Here, they got to put the red lights on, and then take about 10 minutes to back up and get inside. It's complicated.
Which, and trust me, we do not have a bad response time, but it adds to the response time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if, you know, this was built when you had the trucks were a lot smaller.
There were horses.
Well, no, that wasn't that bad, but they were open cab.
I bet they were.
I remember it.
Yeah, you were on.
Yeah, yeah. They had a
And you used to grab on the back.
Yeah,
They don't do that anymore.
I know. But the trucks are a lot bigger now. In fact, that's part of the problem is that the Ford can't hold them.
Yeah, your tanks are bigger.
Yeah.
We're pretty lucky because a good portion of this town is what we call hydrant,
Yeah.
and you don't have to. You don't have to.
You don't have to bring the
truck.
water.
I had the opportunity to see that happen when that mill caught fire across the street from the West End Creamery, and they built and they had the pool. It was pretty amazing to watch them do that. They had the shuttle trucks and, the pump, and of course, I mean, it's a wood manufacturing place. It caught fire. Not
Yeah.
good. It's just never good.
Well,
Never
yeah,
good.
they actually, they process firewood. But, see, they have capability of draining out of the pond.
Yeah.
So, but if you go to a place like Sutton where they have very little bit of water,
Yeah.
they have to rely 100% on.
Hey, they've got a
bringing
really nice new police station.
in. Isn't that something? That is,
See what happens when somebody burns down their building? I mean, when a restaurant catches fire?
yeah. Well, they gave them a location.
Yeah, it sure did. It sure did.
And it's kind of central for them,
It's
too.
the biggest building they have.
I know, it's bigger than the town hall.
Holy mackerel.
I mean, how many police do they have in Sutton?
I have no idea.
I don't think it's that many.
I don't. They got a lot of square mileage to cover.
Yes.
They do back up Oxford a lot because Oxford has that thing up on the hill that they constantly go to. I know they back them up a lot because I know a bunch of the guys. But
Thing up on a hill.
yeah, there's a complex on the hill.
Oh,
off of Sutton
Orchard
Street.
Hill, Orchard
Yeah,
Hill.
it's in Orchard Hill. That's
Yes.
a nightmare from what I gather. I know a couple of the guys in Oxford too that have told me that.
That's a
'cause I was-
40B,
Yeah, exactly.
41B, or 41B.
40B.
40B,
Yeah, it's a 40B.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, we keep getting them, this is affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
We keep getting it brought up in this town, but then it falls apart because you gotta meet certain criterias to build it too. I mean, it doesn't end up as profitable as they think. So, we do have a, over 55 that's
That's
coming up.
nice.
That's gonna be nice.
Those are great.
The Section 8, is that
Yeah, that's 40B.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it would be Section 8. Section 8 is into private landlords that the state pays through Section 8. 40B is, they'll have a certain percentage of the apartments or houses, if they're individual houses, that'll be priced lower so that you can afford them with a lower income. They'd be priced below what the market is getting. So let's say they put up an apartment house with 100 apartments. 20 of them will be priced at, we'll say, $400 a month, and the others are priced at $800 a month, somewhere in there. I don't know exact
Yeah.
numbers, but
They have a program in Worcester now to rehab old houses,
yeah,
and they're going to give them loans, free loans.
yep.
And
Interest-free
then the
loans.
houses, yeah, well, obviously, and then the apartments are going to go for $1,500 a month or better.
Yeah,
Like, good Lord, it's Worcester.
yep. Look at it in Boston.
Oh, Boston's crazy. Boston's like New York now. You $2,700 for a studio
Yeah, I
a
know.
month. Yeah, I'm good.
I just got an interest-free loan.
Did you?
Yeah, through Mass Save.
Oh, cool.
I put what do you call them? Heat pumps in my house.
No kidding.
And when I read up on them, the only thing that is anywhere near as efficient as far as cost is gas, and that's it. Natural gas, not propane.
Yeah, I know.
They're cheaper to run than propane, electric, of course, and oil. And they do air conditioning as well as heating, so you got it year round.
Yeah, but you got to dig a big hole.
No, they're units that go outside like we have here.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had to go down.
No.
See, I didn't know that.
No, they pump heat, they produce heat
Okay.
using the air
I
inside and
learned
out.
something from you today.
And not only do I get 5 years of interest free, so that's why how can I not take that? Even if I could pay for them, I could pay for them cash. Why?
Use somebody else's money?
Yeah,
It's a good thing.
and on top of that, I got a $2,000 rebate.
That's what I got when I got gas.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
I got a couple more years on my loan.
Gas furnace, right? Interest
Boy,
free.
I'm telling you.
That's a good-
And they took everything else away. The oil tank.
Yeah.
The oil burner.
Yeah, it's all
the
part of
water
the
tank.
program.
They took the whole thing away.
All part of the
I
program.
couldn't get rid of an oil tank if I wanted to.
Yep.
They took the whole thing away.
You can't put gas, my street doesn't have a gas pipe.
No,
does
I
it?
was very lucky.
No, you have to
Yeah.
have gas service,
Yeah.
and they're expanding it, but they've
You
slowed
got to
down
have a
now.
whole bunch of, like when they were going to come into, my section is called Whiten Woods, there's those 6 streets. They can only go up the street to Jerry Fay's house.
Yeah, they want the guy who retired from the
He
gas
retired
company.
from the gas company. And they were going to go through the streets, but not enough people signed up.
Yeah,
Really?
Which is crazy when you think about it,
I would've
because you get a
signed
no-interest loan, you get a whole new heating system, and
and it's cheaper.
it's much cheaper. And you don't have to worry about, do I have oil? Do I need propane?
That's the whole thing. You don't have to check your oil
Nothing.
tank.
Nothing.
It's there all the time, 24/7.
They stubbed off my fireplace. They stubbed off my grill. You kidding me? I couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
Is there any chance of them doing that again, you think, to trying to run a
I'm
gas-
sure
if
they're
you
going to
could
have
get-
to,
You're not too far away from it.
Yeah, I don't think
because
there's
it's on Main.
my street, on Main Street,
Yeah,
North Main, Main Street.
Yeah.
There's a gas pipe.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's where
Really?
it came from. Came
We
up
have to
Crescent.
tear up the street.
It doesn't cross the pond.
It only takes a piece about this far,
Yeah,
and they did it right, because there's a rule that you have to come back and do what they call a laser pave. So they settle it for the year, and then they laser pave it over it.
so because people didn't sign up, they didn't do it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, if they get enough people, because they're not going to make the commitment to digging up the street, putting the line in, unless they know they're going to have customers. So what they did is they opened it up to people on his street,
I fought for mine, because
and
they didn't come in front of my house.
no,
They were on the side of my house. Guy said, well, we'd have to come through across. I don't care. So we'll ruin your lawn. What lawn? I have a dog. So we'll have to put the meter on the back of your garage. I said, you put it in my bedroom. I could give a rat's ass less. Just put it in. I don't care. And we were very lucky there. And they were great guys. They did my heating system's this big.
Wow.
oh
The
yeah,
whole thing.
and extremely efficient.
Wow.
The new ones are extremely.
So we hit the, which
no, you
one?
hit the button up on the first.
This
very,
one?
very tight. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Then
this
that
one.
one.
You're on.
Hello, how we doing, guys?
Hey.
Oh, you doing
Hey,
great.
are you okay two times tonight?
Yeah, I was going to say, did you happen to catch any of the program, Gary's program?
Normally I do not, but I
I-
sat in that
I
office
did.
and watched him.
I
I know
did.
the young man. He's a friend of one of my sons. Great kid, great man, nice man. I go by the old ways of, self-defense.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to comment either way because I don't know. There's two sides to each story, and I don't know what the other side is. So
Oh,
I
wait a
don't.
minute,
I
wait a
don't
minute.
like to comment.
If somebody's coming at me with a screwdriver,
Well,
I'm taking him down.
yeah.
I don't care where I am.
Well, you also, it's going to be worth going back and watching one of the replays, because there's a million times the replays. Watch the whole thing. You are just not going to believe it. And
Well, he's a real gentleman, and I think he handled himself very well.
he handled himself phenomenally.
Yep.
So I think that should tell you something there. And he said, and I guess they didn't dispute it, he was not properly trained.
Well, that's something that I caught there. Yeah, and
And just think what area it is he's taking care of. More so than any,
right.
should be trained on the job. But, like anything else down there, they don't give a damn.
Nope.
They don't give a damn, and it says, rather than sit down, hash it out, and go from there, the letter got written, they fired him immediately after the letter. Because you know what? How dare she write a letter and defend her husband? How dare you? They try to keep your good name and all that. But I'm telling you, it's worth watching the whole thing, because this thing is just insane. And as we've talked before, Russ, this is not the only garbage that goes on down there.
Oh, look, she's leaving after taking this town's school department into the dump. Our rating is so low, it's ridiculous. It's never been like this.
No, and I'll tell you
was like,
this.
it
As
was
far
like the
as I'm
hatchet job.
concerned,
Come in and get rid of anybody that didn't agree.
yeah. Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, she can take the last train to Clarksville and keep going. So I just wanted to call and mention that in case you didn't catch any of it. It is worth watching the whole thing.
No, I did. I got here a little early and I sat with Harry and I watched it. And unfortunately, I didn't recognize his last name. I just know him as James.
Yep.
And when I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it was him. I couldn't believe it was him. I mean, I know the kid from, sports and stuff like that. I'm like,
Sure.
So he grew up in
Yeah.
town?
yeah, he's friends with my sons.
I didn't know he grew up in town. I don't know him at all.
Yeah, he's a great kid.
Just, I listened to the program and it was just sickening.
Yeah.
Just sickening. So I just wanted to call in and
Yeah.
chime on that in case you hadn't seen any. Walked in a few minutes before and just to tell you that it would be worth watching. So,
Cool. Thanks.
all right. Have a good night, guys. Thank
too.
you.
Okay. No, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the man at all. I just know what happened, and
It's going to be very interesting to see what they do for a new superintendent. Because if they don't get a strong candidate, look,
Thomas Jefferson.
I'm telling you, the guy walked in the room and he exuded power. It's just so funny that the guy's name was Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah,
When this guy
he was
walked
a candidate before for superintendent.
twice,
Now.
he walked in the room and he went, whoa. Like he was just power. And he would have turned his, but everybody was afraid that he wouldn't listen to them because the school committee wants everybody to be friendly. Well, how did it work out for you? You've lost so many teachers in the last year and a half, 2 years, because of this nonsense that goes on there. And you know what? Shame on them for not training them. In Worcester, they train you on active shooter. They train you on handling problems. They train you on weapons. Not here. You have one resource officer for four schools. 4 schools. One.
I don't know how you cannot have one in the middle school. I think the middle school, there's a lot of problems.
You got one guy.
Right, he's at the high school.
Now, I don't know the budget system. I don't know how they do that, whether it's the responsibility. It's probably the responsibility of the school committee. I'm pretty sure it is. But you got to put that in your budget. Today, with the society that we've created, with you can't say no to a kid and come at somebody with a I gotta calm down. A screwdriver, you gotta have somebody with ability to stop that. And if you're protecting yourself and those other classmates, because you don't know if he's coming after them next, no, you gotta stop it. You stop it in its tracks. And to get rid of him when he protected the kids, you should be ashamed of yourself.
How long ago did this happen? I wasn't aware of these things. Some kid attacked a guy or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
With a
it was on Facebook,
Oh, okay.
and
The screwdriver?
the kid was sleeping, and he woke him up, and he went ballistic. He went wild and started acting up, and he tried to get him out of the hall, away from the kids, because classes were changing, and he brought him into a room. He didn't know it was a closet. It was a janitorial closet. He thought it was a room, an empty room, but it was and that's where he got a screwdriver, and in the process he stabbed him 4 times in the left arm. And that's nothing to snicker at him.
It's assault.
You hit a artery, it'd
assault.
be pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and a screwdriver is not exactly real sharp, so you really have to hit
Well, it depends.
hard.
Is it a flathead or a screw or a
I don't
Phillips?
know.
If
I
it's a
don't-
Phillips, it's got a point.
Yeah, it's got a point, but it's still not. It's not like
no,
a
it's
knife.
not like a knife. It's going to hurt getting in.
Yeah.
You're going to put some force getting that in there.
Yeah,
I don't care either way.
right. Any kind of screwdriver.
Just sad. Sad that we let the society get to this point.
It is.
Well, look what they want to do now. These towns want to have later arrival for the older students because they need their rest. How about you take the damn Xbox away from them, have them go to bed? How about that? How about parents stand up and be parents? How about
Yep.
we try that for a little while, see how that works out? Because it killed you to get up early. It killed me to, well, I don't like getting up early, but I do. But you got to school.
Well, you have to pace yourself. If I gotta be up early, I go to bed early.
Yep.
I was up this morning before 4 a.m.
Jeez.
so I could clean the driveway because my wife wanted to go to work.
I thought maybe you were going to wake the rooster up or something.
And I had to go out and plow Benson Road because the highway department didn't do it.
Wow, you're not defending them tonight. I'm shocked.
If you saw what my street looked like,
I drove down your street
Yeah.
tonight. I know what it looks like.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I got out and cleaned my driveway, and I was out there for a good hour. I didn't see any plows go by.
No, they didn't put anybody out this morning. They just sanded last night.
And it's not like we've had a lot of snowstorms and they're running short on
Nope.
cash.
Nope. But you don't want to disturb the head of the DPW because he's got his suit on and he drives around all day. Drives me nuts every time I see him.
The guy that preceded him used to get in the plow truck
You're
himself.
damn right. Dickie
Yeah.
did a hell of a job.
Yep.
He got the job done.
Yeah.
That's because he lived in town. I keep saying that. You want him to live in town. Again, nobody wants to listen. You don't have a town manager that lives in town. He's close enough. And he's a good guy.
Yep.
But your principles of the setups that he's not going to come here from Holden for a snowstorm. I don't care if he's got four-wheel drive or not.
Princeton.
I thought it was Holden.
Princeton.
Oh, okay. Princeton.
Even further.
I don't know why. I thought it was Holden for. Oh, he worked in Holden.
Right.
That's what it
He
was.
comes through Holden.
Princeton. Do you have any idea how far that is?
Yeah, I know where it is.
And we're paying
Mount
his gas.
Wachusett. He was right on the shadow of Mount Wachusett.
And we're paying his gas.
Yeah.
Come on. You didn't pay. Well, it would have been vegetable oil, but you didn't pay Teddy's gas.
No, because in the contract it said gas, not vegetable oil.
Right. Right. I gave him his gas. I gave him his fuel.
No, actually, he didn't want a car.
I know. But the point is,
I don't think the current one has one either.
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
No.
No, I think Adam has his own vehicle.
Yeah.
And the guys.
That ended with the guy that moved into town, and then after he moved into town, he took a job out of town.
And you have your code enforcement people, their car sits there, they get to the car, and then they take it out.
Oh,
Why does he get a car
that's
to go to
it.
Princeton?
We had a town manager who lived in town. What do? They fire him.
No, no, don't even start. Don't get me started.
No.
And how much did that cost us?
Yeah. So that's why no town manager wants to live in town because he might get fired.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Same with the DPW director. He don't want to live in town. He might get fired.
Well, no, Dickie made it.
Yeah, he did.
Dickie did a great
Made
job.
it to retirement. He did a good job.
He did a
with
fabulous
what
job.
he had.
Yep. But you can't have 4 workers and 3 bosses.
But they never gave him a DPW garage.
No.
He was here for 20 years, never got a DPW garage.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's sad because you have all of this, and everybody's afraid to move forward and do something.
Yep.
Do something. As I always tell the kids, do something. Even if it's wrong, just do something. React to something. We're not doing any kind of preventative maintenance to anything here, except for the fire trucks.
Yeah.
You can't do it on the police because you're going to get rid of them anyway. And now with the garage I used to work at, it's closed. He only does buses. I don't know where they get I have no idea where they get their stuff cleaned, worked on now.
Well, I don't know. I think I see him down Leroy's.
Yeah, because the one down in Linwood's closed.
Yeah.
Well, it's not closed. They only fix their own buses.
Right.
He's got quite a business.
Well, he retired.
Yeah, but his son,
Right.
who went to school with my boys.
But
Good for him.
But the thing is that, the cruisers don't stop long enough to fix them anyway.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. It's amazing. You look at a cruiser and it doesn't look bad. But it has 1 million hours on it.
Right.
1 million hours. If you calculated not the miles, but the hours, you'd be like ridiculous.
Oh, it is.
Because they're always running.
Yeah, they never stop. They're always on the go.
Yep.
3 shifts. But,
And now no more cars. All the cars are gone.
all the cars.
All the cars are gone.
Oh, you mean all SUVs now?
Yeah, got to be all SUVs because
Yeah.
Ford doesn't make cars.
No,
They can't afford the Chevy. Did you see the Chevy they came out with?
no.
It's for highway patrol, trust me. It's got a Corvette engine in it.
Whoa.
Chevy came out with a new cruiser with a Corvette engine in it. It's like a rocket ship. It's great for like,
That's
Montana.
All yeah, well, yeah, state police.
yeah, yeah.
But, which we have a colonel in town now. State police colonel.
He's here?
Lives here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me about the guy who's going to be the town moderator, because he wasn't a colonel. He was a.
Oh, no.
I knew.
No,
I know several colonels.
he was a lieutenant.
Right.
No, we have a colonel, state police colonel living in town.
Did not
now.
know that.
I'll tell
The
you
new
about
one?
it after.
The new one. They just signed.
Yeah, he just got promoted about
Oh.
maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Cool. Hope he never worked on an E.
Yeah.
Hope he never worked on the E barracks. Yikes.
Well,
What do you do with that building?
yeah, what are they going to do with those buildings?
Don't know.
They're not, are they using them at all now?
The one.
We're talking the police barracks on the Mass Pike. Mm-hmm. You got them every so many miles.
Yeah.
Are they empty now?
It is now, because they closed the E barracks because they were all got arrested for doing.
Well, they were all putting a lot of overtime in.
And some of them were dumb enough to be in Aruba while they were supposedly on.
Yeah, I know.
You know, not the sharpest knives in the drawer. That's called greed.
Yeah.
Maybe they could put the fire station there.
Yeah, no, it's on the Pike. It's a little
It's on
far
the
away.
Mass Pike.
It's a little far away.
But they were built when they built the Mass Pike because they actually had a separate unit
Yep.
that took care of the Pike,
Yep.
but no longer.
Boy, do I miss when the Pike was the Pike.
Yeah, when it was
the Pike.
when it maintained
Because
itself.
it was the nicest road in the state.
Yeah, and it gave a former selectman a good job.
He always hated me for that. I had made a joke. It's funny. I was a bartender and in the restaurant business. I said I was a selectman. I serve you, and he said his was I make change, and he got mad. I'm like, it's a joke. It's a joke because he made change back then. He made change.
He
You
was
was
a toll
50
taker.
cents. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and he got mad. I'm like, stop taking yourself so serious. And it's funny because all of his kids are friends with my kids.
Yeah.
I see him every now and then. I haven't seen him in a while.
Well, we got to wrap it up. Oh, what's it?
Won't be here next week.
Oh,
He's
you won't
stuck
be
in
here?
Kentucky.
Oh, back to Kentucky. Back to Kentucky. To Louisville.
Louisville.
That's what he said. Louisville.
Yeah,
Not Louisville, Louisville.
yeah. I'm gonna go get me a slugger.
Yeah. Tomorrow night, my guests are going to be two ladies from the Blackstone Valley Heritage Corridor. I'm going to talk about what's coming up with the Heritage Corridor. A lot of things happening. Got a new director. Interviewed him today for the radio show. So you might tune into that this weekend coming up. So we'll be back next week with 2 on 11, not 3, because Russ will be in Louisville.
In Louisville. Great. The
All right.
things you do.
Okay, guys. We'll see you next week.